Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good midnight to all my friends near and far. This is Marilyn again, your friendly Filipino carpintera here in America. Time check, it's 8 o'clock. Uh, I did not bring my eyeglass. I didn't wear my eyeglass, but it's few minutes before 9 o'clock. So on a February 14th. So it's still officially Valentine's night. I hope you are having a good time celebrating your Valentine's Day. And I'm sure you had special plans for your spouses, girlfriends, or boyfriends. And my husband and I, we are just here in the house. We are celebrating our Valentine's night with our cats. How many do we have in the bed right now? One, two, three, four, five. We had like seven cats with us earlier. But anyway, yeah, and a pizza for dinner. And my husband got me like a frappe from McDonald's, so it's my favorite and I'm happy for that. But anyway, so Valentine's Day. What did you do, guys, for Valentine's Day? Um, I'm sure it's observed. What is Valentine's Day? I'm sure it's observed around the world. It's a very special day for lovers, right, Corey? What's
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day for you?
It's a hard question. It changes over time. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was more. I don't know. I mean, it should be like you've said before. Every day should be like a Valentine's Day, but
Yeah. That's my husband's voice because he doesn't want to be included in the video. He hates his handsome face to be
mm-mm.
on camera. But yeah, I mentioned earlier that Valentine's Day should not only be celebrated on February 14th. Valentine's Day should be celebrated every single day of our lives, right? Like, not only for lovers also that are you know sweethearts. I mean, new sweetheart. Okay. And Valentine's Day should not only be celebrated by sweethearts, but once you are, like, say, married for 10 years, then you tend to forget, to celebrate each other on Valentine's Day. And that's sad, you know. It doesn't mean that you've been together for quite a while, that you already forget to profess your love for one another. Right, Corey?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, the very Bible verse that reminds me of Valentine's Day, since it's all about love, is First Corinthians chapter
13.
13. Yeah, it says there, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it is not proud, it does not keep records of wrong, it does not boast. So, love is patient. What does that mean? I asked him earlier, my husband, what patience means or what love is patient means. And he said, um, what
Putting
did
up,
you say again? Putting up with your spouse,
putting up with stuff
putting up
for a
with
while.
stuff for a while. What's the example for that?
Oh, I don't. I can't think on the spot.
Yeah, putting up with your spouse. Like, for example, understanding and controlling your emotions and being patient. Um, when your spouse comes home from work a little bit irritated, then be patient. Like, you don't, if your spouse screams at the cats or the dogs or at you don't scream back because you have no idea of how your spouse's day went, at work. Probably he got laid off or he got yelled at uh, s- by his manager or and he had like a very stressful day at work, then he is not in the mood to talk or to be jolly when he arrived home. Just be patient, and understand where your spouse is coming from. So that. And then love is patient, love is kind. What is kind? What's kind? Being kind, or what is kindness? Um, my spouse, I tend to be feeling very cold at night, and so I just, I tell Corey, especially if I'm already settled in bed, I tell Corey, Borg, I am cold, and what he does is he gets up and he, runs to the dryer and warms a blanket and comes back and then gives me a very nice warm blanket, and then he would he would get socks and then he would blow, remember, he would breathe on the socks so that when he puts it on my feet, like my feet would feel warmer. So that is kindness at its very best, right? And kindness also is sometimes, I have problems with my back doing carpentry works, but sometimes when I wake up, like, I prepare him breakfast or dinner or lunch, mostly dinner, but not all the time. And I always think of, yeah, I like this food. What do you think? What is it that Corey wants for dinner? And so, I think about it and then I cook, and that's love at, you know, being kind. Love is kind, doing extra mile for your spouse, for, for the benefit of your spouse. So that, and then um just a simple fact of, giving him or her water. Like at night, I have a maintenance for, medicine for my health problems, health issues, and so my husband, makes it sure that I take my medicines at night. He brings me water and my medicine, of course. So that is being kind to your spouse. So love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy. For example, if your spouse, especially for men, they tend to be jealous of the success of their spouses, of their wives. And it shouldn't be that case, because the success of your wives are also your success, is also your success. So um, sometimes men's ego is touched when the wife's career, like, is higher compared to theirs. So in that case, men should not be envious. Instead, they should celebrate with, the promotion of their wives, because the wife's success is also success of everyone in the family. Husband should be supportive. All right, so it's not envious. And then love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious, it does not boast. I don't know what that means, but all I know is that sometimes or many times I'm boastful of how my husband treats me, like he is a very caring husband, and I never fail to not acknowledge him, with his good deeds. I always tell people of, the goodness of my husband. So that probably, I don't know what that means about love not being boastful, because me, I am proud of my husband. And then love does not keep records of wrong. That is very popular among women. Like, for example, if our husband slips, and we always like, you see, for example, if he fails to recognize or to remember stuffs, you see, You forgot the date again, just like 7 years ago. You forgot the very same time it is our anniversary. What did you do? You forgot. You did not even give me a kiss when we woke up. So, it's always like that. And then, or even yesterday, you did not do this, just like 2 years ago. You failed to do this and do that. And, that's not love. Love doesn't keep records of wrong. You keep records of the good things that your spouses have done to you. That's why I always remind Corey that, Borg, um I couldn't, although we like, we argue from time to time, but I always tell him that I couldn't imagine life without him. And I always you know tell him the good deeds that he have done to me, like for example, the very first time we got married. I mean, of course, we only married once, but the very from the very first day that we were married until now, his paternal instinct has never changed. Like, he always checks on me, and then when I'm driving, especially at night, he would call and say, "Where are you? Are you okay? Be careful driving." He has been always like that, very caring from day one. So that's, for spouses, for our loved ones, we have to give them reassurance by, recording the good things that they have done for us instead of the bad things. So that, and what else? Love. Um, what's what else? Love is patient, kind. It does not boast. It does not keep records of wrong. It's not envious. And at the end there, on in First Corinthians 13, it says, even if you are speaking in tongues, but if you don't have love, then you are just like a clanging gong. Is that correct, Corey? Kind of like
Something like
that.
that. Yeah.
Like, even if you have this spiritual gifts of speaking in tongues, but if you don't have love, you're just making noises. It doesn't matter. And then, even if you do good things, but you did not do it out of love, you were just forced, then it's useless. It's not, um, it's very superficial, because there's no love there. And then the ending verses of First Corinthians 13 says, and all, what's that word? All this love, hope, and
Mm, I don't.
um
Peace. I don't know.
love,
I'm not sure.
hope, but the greatest of all is love.
Yeah.
I need to read that again. I used to memorize it, but yeah, um greatest of all is love. Love can do so many things, and the greatest love you can ever receive is from someone who created you, someone who has planned for your future, someone who loved you enough to give his only begotten Son to die on the cross so that you will have an access to heaven. And that is found in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him, in Jesus, you know, will not perish but will have eternal life in heaven. So that's the greatest love our God has given us. He sacrificed and sent his only Son to be crucified, to suffer, to experience a horrific kind of death for you and for me, because he loves us. That is the real meaning for me of love, and it should be also celebrated, and should also be remembered on Valentine's Day. And remember, we not only love on February 14th, but Valentine's Day should be celebrated every single year, day of every single year. So, yeah, even if, sometimes we tend to be more romantic on Valentine's Day if we were still dating. But 10 years after marriage, all the romance is gone. Like, that should not be the case. Yeah, after knowing a person for quite a while, the physical attraction already goes out of the window, but then the level of love should go deeper. Like I always tell my husband, if there's somebody would come and hurt him, I'm gonna catch the bullet for him. I'm gonna lay my life for my husband. That's what love is. Just, you know, thinking of what's best for your spouse. Although me, I don't do much. He's the one that, you know, expresses more love to me, I guess, because he takes good care of me. But I also love him in the best way I know. In that how God's enables me to love him, and it's only by His grace that I can do that. Same with each and every one of us. We all need God's grace to be able to give our spouses that perfect love that the Lord wants us to share. So again, thank you again for listening to my message, and I hope you were inspired, and I hope you continue to love your spouses even if they don't look beautiful or handsome anymore. And every day should be celebrated a Valentine's Day. Thank you and God bless. Bye bye.